it again. I done came in here with the twins. I done came in here with 217. 217, say something.
217 on the track, man.
With my friends, we get turned up. We get turned up. We get turned up. And with my friends, we get turned up. We get turned up. We get turned up. Hey, easy up.
Here we are. Episode 42.
Yes, sir.
Mainly Stoopid. I'm Garrett at Foulfly.
I am Hugh at HughMac87.
And at Mainly Stoopid on Twitter, Instagram. Find us on any podcast network. If you're listening to this on YouTube or watching on YouTube, it will be up later.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing a live tonight. We normally try and do live when we're in person, but we have a special guest joining us later in about 15 minutes-ish.
Yep. 10, 15 minutes, which I think you guys will be very intrigued. It was kind of, I won't give him away, but the backstory of me finding him, and we've been trying to, incorporate some guests into the podcast, and I follow him on Instagram, and the one clue I'll give you, he is a professional athlete. And so I shot my shot, messaged him, told him we have zero money to pay you. And would you be interested in coming and shooting the shit with us on our podcast? And he said, absolutely, hell yeah. And I read this message while in Walmart and fanboy geeked out.
Yeah.
Just because it's probably my favorite sport. It's a sport I can actually compete in.
It is. It's the people's sport.
Yeah, exactly.
It's sort of like the bowling of our generation, I feel like.
Yeah, no, that's a really good analogy. So,
I mean, bowling's pretty electric still, but I think this is, the ESPN and the Ocho's not too far away. We got enough weird shit going
on. So you met an old friend of mine today.
Yeah. I was going to say, before we get into the interview, we'll be in a little bit. We're going to just sit back, shoot the shit, catch up. I had the pleasure of meeting an old acquaintance of Mr. McDougal's today.
Family friend.
She told me quite the story.
Yeah, that's a good one. So what'd she tell you?
She said, oh, well, she goes, so I understand you know Mr. Hugh McDougal. I said, I do. She said, have you seen him lately? I said, I have. I said, I'm actually going to see him tonight. She goes, oh, good. Well, tell him I said hi and tell him I still do not make kids disappear. So I said, okay. And she's like, he'll tell the story better. Here's a little brief overview. So I got a little bit of the story, but I think from my understanding is you and anyone that hung around when she was around were deathly afraid of her.
Yeah, pretty much because
it started at 5.
Oh, yeah, probably. I was probably younger because my mom worked with her, and she would come over, and she was just a family friend, and it got to a point where if my parents were going away for the night or going out, that she would watch me. She babysat, and I think it was with her nieces and nephews and stuff. It was one of those things that, well, I'll get them to behave by telling them this. And what it was she told me a story of when she was watching another kid, she made him disappear, never to be seen again. And of course, I believed the shit out of it because I was, young and impressionable.
Took advantage of that poor little mind.
So for years that went on. And then at one point, she told me I was much older. She said, I ran into the kid that I made disappear at the grocery store. And then, so that's kind of how I figured out, well, it was all a story to begin with. It was all bullshit, but it was just one of those cool stories. And I haven't seen her in close to 10 years.
Yeah. I believe the last time you saw her, we were taking shots with George Washington.
Yep. Yep, exactly. Shitty weather today.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah. There's like 5 inches of snow at my house.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's all rain here.
It's raining here. Yeah, it's
It
nice.
snowed in Elliott for a little while.
It snowed here for a little bit, and then it snowed. Actually, when I was down south, it snowed a little bit. But
where we are at the shop, it was snowing. 236 was white. We got to the lights. It was rain. 236 was black. It was like a definite line. So, of course, our driveway at home, according to my wife, has not been plowed.
Oh, good.
So that's always it's always good. And it's supposed to go until like they hadn't switched over to rain at home as of when I got here.
So I'll talk sports a little bit.
All right.
What do you think about all this that's coming out about Houston now? Not a good look.
No. And what Barstool set the over-under at? They're
83.5 players hit by pitches this year.
over.
I don't know. It was actually I saw a quote today on Twitter that was like, the first pitcher who hits a Houston Astro is going to get punished more severely than anyone that.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyone that was involved.
So it probably will be I wonder. I wonder who do they open against? I was just thinking that.
I have no idea.
Because it's going to be, I don't know. These guys are. And what do you think about the Red Sox move naming an interim manager versus hiring a new manager?
I can't say I'm surprised.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think they're just trying to let it all blow over and just get out of it. I don't know. I think they're just trying to bide their time. So their regular season opens with the Los Angeles Angels.
Yeah, I just saw that. That's
they won't do anything.
Yeah,
California.
Well, they're saying even there's a chance that Mike Trout knew about this going on and shit like that. And he's supposed to be the Pete Rose of our time. They're certainly making Pete Rose look a lot better.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I haven't followed it much, to be completely honest, but
I just the amount that's come out and I think it's Gary Bettman that's the commissioner of the MLB.
Yeah.
Who just came out and was like, I don't really see the value in taking a piece of metal back from someone. It's like, dude, that's not the point. And you shouldn't just call it a piece of metal when it's your World Series trophy that's been around since 1904 or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's not a real big deal. And it's like, okay.
Imagine if the Red Sox got caught at the level they.
Well, it's like the Patriots.
Yeah.
So just to equate it to the Patriots, and it's like, oh yeah, we did. We tried to get people. We knew what the offensive play calls were.
Yeah.
Okay, you're fucking losing everything. They fucking Roger Goodell would be like, oh, take down banners. What I mean?
Burn them.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. It's ridiculous.
And then the whole thing that came out that it was the Astros manager was or GM was oh, it had nothing to do with our front office. It was all the bench coach. Which is why Alex Cora got dragged into it. And then it came out that it was all the front office doing all the legwork and all the programming. And
yeah.
They had this whole Excel program and with a video and all this bullshit. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? So
they imagine the money they spent on it.
Yeah.
To be able to do it.
And you got a World Series out of it.
Yeah.
So probably worth it.
And a part of me goes back to, remember when that was going down and that guy Tex worked for Barstool Sports?
Yeah.
Like how he got a Houston Astros World Series ring.
Yeah.
Obviously, he doesn't work for Barstool anymore, but I'm kind of interested to see
what his view is.
Yeah, what his take is.
I just can't get over the fact that, you know, the players are letting it happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's the hardest part.
Yeah. It's been turning down the heat, so it's we can hear a little better.
Yeah. Our guest is coming on. We want to be a little
we got
semi-professional.
Exactly.
Semi-pro.
What else we got
Other news, big crash in NASCAR.
Yeah. How about that?
Ryan Newman's okay-ish.
Last
he's
headline
alive.
Last headline I read, he was awake and talking.
Yeah.
Which is big. And one thing I read this morning, 19 years ago today, Dale Earnhardt died.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how that whole thing went down. It's so close to the anniversary of that.
Well, so I'll make this fucking claim. So you look at the way that NASCAR reacted to that versus how the NFL's reacted to CTE. Which is better?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you know, at least NASCAR has made the safe changes. I mean, he got hit on the driver's door going 200 miles an hour. And is
expected to make a full recovery.
Yeah. And what the fuck?
And I guarantee you he'll probably be back in that car later on this season. Maybe not this season, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But they like to go fast. And if you wait first, you're in a hospital bed. What else? I had something in my phone notes here. Real quick. Mighty Ducks is back.
Yeah, I heard they're the heel now, though.
The heel?
They're the bad guys. That's what I heard.
I heard that. I just heard Mighty Ducks is back with Emilio Estevez as Gordon Bombay.
Yes. I don't think Goldberg's going to make it back.
Goldberg is probably going to be tied up. Only if he could have held out just a little bit longer.
He could have got that paycheck, got a little bit more meth.
What a shame. So any minute we should be hearing from our guest.
We'll see how this goes. Oh, boy. What's this? I don't know what this is. Oh, we're encrypted. Oh, great. Perfect.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Taking tech advice from my wife. This is probably not a good sign. Boy. Not claiming that we are doing any better, but it's scary when she's the one that's controlling
she's
steering
our
technology.
The ship. I can say I'm a little disappointed. We haven't had one "You've Been Stupid" tag yet.
I was just looking at that.
I understand we got to give it some time. It's Michael Jordan's birthday.
It is. What do you think about the rumors that the Raiders are ready to pay Brady $60 million?
How are they going to pay their offensive line and fucking protect them?
They're not going to.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's going to be 1 versus 11.
Yeah. I mean, Derek Carr got the shit kicked out of him.
Yep.
And I mean, Tom Brady's got to be smarter. He's got to see that. $60 million is a lot of money, though.
It is, but I don't think he'll bite. I really don't.
I don't think he will. I think he'll stay in New England, but the tension is. Our guest should be linking up with us as we speak.
All right. Let me see if I can find.
Sorry for the.
A little bit of dead air here. Sorry. We're trying to manage here.
as you know from previous episodes, our planning is we shoot from the hip.
We really do. I mean, I told Hugh I was going to work on trying to figure out how to do this last night. Didn't. Waited until about 5 o'clock tonight. Been like, oh shit.
And of course, I've been facilitating this all via Instagram.
All right. Let's see here. We don't see anybody yet.
Okay.
We got
So we're using a new program to do this.
We are.
And like we said, mainly Mom Fitness is steering the ship on our tech abilities.
Oh, we could choose a virtual background? Oh boy. I'm not gonna fuck with this at this point.
While we're waiting, what do you think of the new branding of one of our favorite podcasts?
I'll wait to reserve any judgments until the first episode tomorrow.
Yep.
I think they kind of had to do something.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see. I don't have a fucking clue who the former Colt is that's coming in. Gary.
Yeah, he's sitting in on the episode or something.
I don't know if he's sitting in or if he's in permanently or what's happening, but something. Let me find it.
Says address invalid.
Huh. Oh shit! Where is it? Nope.
Sorry for the dead air, folks. We're trying to get this.
He was working. I'm trying to read. This isn't great. Not great podcast. Sorry. Apologies. Not really, but you get it. I don't know where the hell it is. The Mini Cooper lives. I'd like to go on the record of saying I finally fixed it.
Nice.
I'll post pictures of it later. It's bad.
What'd you have to do to it?
Replace the alternator that was seized and then broke.
Oh, that's always good.
Yeah. It was fucked. Like, there was no coming back. Once I got it out, I was like, oh, boy. I'm lucky this thing even moves. Fired right up, though. Ran like a top.
Nice.
Got to put a windshield in it. Got to go see Bert, get it inspected. Be all done.
All right. He's saying it says invalid code.
Okay. Does he have... Ask him for an email address. And I'll send him an email right. So he should be able to... Does he have the Zoom app?
He downloaded the app and it's still not working.
So Oh, Jesus. We got people ringing in. Do we have a participant? Oh, fuck. I think we might have got her done.
All right, there we go.
We got it. I had to go through Google Chrome instead of the other one. I mean, yeah, instead of Safari. So
okay, perfect.
It works. What's up, fellas?
How we doing? So, Jay Corley,
Jay Corley, our special guest. We're kind of going right from the hip on this, Jay.
Yeah.
Okay. No worries.
So Jay is a professional ACL cornhole athlete, and was kind enough to join us for our podcast to shoot the shit a little bit and tell us about the Professional Cornhole League. And I don't know if you can see me now, Jay.
Well,
I can see you guys.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I'm here.
So I guess we'll start off by saying where are you from, and how long you've been playing cornhole, what got you into it, that type of stuff. And
Okay, yeah. So I am from a little town outside of Richmond, Virginia called Mechanicsville. Born and raised here. Yeah, so I got into cornhole through my little brother. He plays on the pro circuit also. His Matthew Corley. He was playing in gym class one day actually with his baseball coach, and he came home and was like, "Hey," he told me about it. It's a fun game. It's really addictive, and so we tried it out. And my wife eventually ended up buying a set of boards, and my brother wore my ass out for like an hour and a half. And so I was like, you know what? I've had enough of this. I'm going to get these boards and I'm going to figure this thing out. And it's just took off ever since then.
Yep. And how long ago was that compared to where you are now?
Like 2013, I graduated college. I think it was a year after that when I was home trying to get my life together, what I wanted to do after school. And then cornhole kind of took over.
Yeah.
That was the thing is so I left school in 2007. Left college. Cornhole was never around. Like we missed it. We were the beer pong era. Like that was beer pong and beer die. And then cornhole came out and it was kind of like Huey and I were talking earlier and it was, it's really like now being on TV and the pro leagues and the way they're coming, it's almost like a rebirth of almost bowling to me. Like it's sort of like our generations of bowling where it's a sport anyone can do. And it's so accessible and it's, relatively easy, to pick up and to start. It's obviously not easy to be competitive, but, anyone can go do it.
And it can be a really cheap sport to play too. I mean, obviously if you want to play at the highest level and you get like anything else, when you get the top tier equipment, you're going to have to pay for it, obviously. But I also look at it, bowling, I think is a good analogy. And then a safer version of horseshoes. For people that like to drink and play outdoors and that type of thing, for athletes that are too old to play whatever sport they competed in. It's a safer way, and you can transport it so easy. I mean, when I travel from time to time, I'm not sure how well you guys follow the circuit, but I travel with a couple guys a lot, Frank Modlin, Jordan Canva, and we will typically take Frank's SUV because he can fit boards in the back. So when we're going on long trips to play in big cash tournaments, we'll bring the boards out halfway through to break the trip up. Yeah. And you can just, put them in a parking lot. When you're done, you pick up and carry on.
Now you guys stopping at rest stops and hustling? Like you got to pay for gas.
We will. So we will typically try to hit casinos whenever we can. Frank is a big time poker player, and me and Jordan seem to always get suckered into roulette. So one time we went. This is a short but funny story. We were going to a tournament in New Jersey, I think, and we stopped in Delaware at the casino up there. I don't even know. I think Frank went out of his way to go to the casino because Frank loves going to casinos. But him and Frank and Derek King wanted to play cash games so bad that me and Jordan Kamba just took out lawn chairs and just watched them play for like 2 hours in the parking lot. We ended up going in the casino. They never even made it in the casino. And they were so hooked on it. So, but those guys they're so much fun. And that's the big part of cornhole makes it so fun is people are down to earth, nobody feels like they're too big to talk to the other players, up and coming players, fans. So that's what makes it special for me.
Yeah, no doubt.
That was one of the notes I had written down was the other thing. It almost feels rugby-ish. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you guys compete when you're, whether it's doubles or singles, but then afterwards, it seems like you guys all get along and go grab beers. Like, is there big rivalries or is it just like, hey, we're out here, best team wins, whatever. All right, let's grab a beer.
There are certainly rivalries, and it definitely is. There's a lot of intense when the games are played, and even sometimes after the game. I'm really competitive, so of course everybody shakes hands and we're respectful. But it's not right after the game is over where we're laughing and joking with our competitors. It takes some time to get over it if you get your ass kicked before you want to go say, all right, let's go drink a beer and talk about how bad I smoked you or you smoked me. But yeah, at the end of it, we all understand life's short. You don't hold grudges. It's just a game. Yeah. But we take it really serious also.
That's awesome. I mean, I am nowhere near on the competitive level, and I suck at cornhole, to be completely honest, but I love playing it because it's fun. And the shit talking aspect of it is also a great time. And that's when I find myself. That's what I'm good at, cornhole.
Yeah.
Shit talking.
It's crazy. Some players will use that to their advantage. Some players are known for being talkers throughout the game, so much that people have started using headphones. Well, have used headphones for a couple of years now to tone out the crowd and also tone out your competitors that like to chit chat. There's one guy from the beach area, Virginia Beach, which is about 2 hours from me. He'll talk nonstop throughout the game. He's a great guy, but he will work gain whatever edge he can. So sometimes I'll have headphones in just so he thinks I'm listening to music, so he won't talk to me. And when he says something, I'm like, hey man, I can't headphones, I can't hear you. And then I don't even have anything on. So
yeah, that's awesome. Fun. So it's kind of like the mouthy catcher that's talking shit behind the batter. So,
it's the exact same. It's the exact same.
That's awesome to hear. So speaking of headphones, Garrett brought up the question earlier. What are you listening to for music? When you're getting ready or during or all those times? Are you cranking country music, rock and roll, rap? Where's your head at?
I'm a little bit of hip hop to something upbeat, and then a mixture of whatever you call Brantley Gilbert style is, because he's not really country, but he's not rock. He's got a good mix.
I call that tractor rap.
Yeah, he's got a lot of upbeat stuff, and a lot of stuff I feel like I can relate to. So I had some Brantley Gilbert in there too.
Awesome. As far as how's the circuit work in professional cornhole? Is there different? I noticed we looked on your Cornhole Attic website. There's the Atlantic division. Is there Northeast, Southeast, Northwest, that type of thing, kind of like the NFL or baseball?
Yeah, so there's 16 total conferences across, it's 16 in the United States, and then I think Canada is considered a conference, and Australia has a conference, but their following isn't big enough for them to have separate conferences with them. But the ACL is broken down the country into 16 different conferences. This year, the most importance that holds is for the Conference Cup at the championships, where they take the top 16 players from each conference, and then they battle it out, and you have singles, doubles, and then what's called the Crew Cup, which is 4-man teams, and then whichever conference wins the most events essentially will be crowned the Conference Cup champions, which my conference, the Atlantic Conference, is back-to-back champions. So that's something that is pretty cool.
Yeah, no doubt.
Now, can you is there interconference play? Can you just if you want to take the lady and go on a road trip, and then you end up in the Pacific Northwest and you see a cornhole tournament, can you go play? Is it all sanctioned and set up hey, you're in the Atlantic division, that's where you live, that's where you got to play?
No, you can absolutely go, crossover lines. A lot of the Carolina guys, they have their own conference, but they're so close to the Virginia line, they'll just shoot up into Virginia and play in the Virginia Beach area because it's more convenient for them. But so you can earn your points wherever. There's no restrictions on where you can play. You just can only belong and earn points under one conference.
I got you.
So I got to give you a compliment on that beer too, man. I get my beard gets about half that long, and I get annoyed with it and cut it off.
Yeah, this has been almost 3 years now.
Nice. That's good work. Where are you guys located?
Southern Maine. So
okay.
We're about an hour north of Boston.
About 8 hours from you.
Yeah,
roughly.
That's not too bad. We'll be in Cleveland next month. How far is Cleveland from you guys?
That's probably 12 hours.
Yeah, 12 hours. Yeah.
Holy smokes!
Because that's down and
over. We're I've actually been pretty much right where you are, because my favorite store in the world is right north of Richmond.
What store is that?
Green Top.
Oh, the Green Top's 15 minutes for me.
Yeah, Green Top is probably the best store in the entire country.
They actually, I don't know when the last time you came down, but they've relocated from that building that had the real low ceilings across the street to where Gander Mountain used to be, and they couldn't keep their spot. So that building, they're in a massive building now. Yeah,
the last time I went down was probably 3 or 4 years ago. It was right when they had moved, because they had nothing set up. It was like a huge empty warehouse just filled with hunting stuff. So
Yeah.
it's like a
hunting
Cabela's
house.
or Bass Pro.
Yeah.
But no name brand, no like Cabela's style. It's just
Right.
everything in the world you could ever want.
You passed the Bass Pro on the way down too, I think, on 95 probably.
Yeah. My parents live in Eastern North Carolina, so I always hit there. I always take like Virginia Beach, Chesapeake Bay Bridge when I drive down.
Bay Bridge Tunnel, that massive bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Virginia's actually a really cool state. But like when I drive through your area, coming down, it makes the trip. It feels like the trip is so much longer because Virginia is not small by any means.
No.
I mean, you drive
it's
through
a long state.
Yeah, you drive through that and it's like, holy shit, I'm still in Virginia where you come out of Maryland and then you basically hit the bridge tunnel and you're in Virginia for a minute and then you're in North Carolina. So
right.
that's where I had. So outside of cornhole, you like basketball. Who's your favorite pro athlete?
My favorite professional athlete? That's a tough one. I'm a big Patrick Mahomes fan. We've got a little bit of connection to him. My younger brother that I mentioned earlier, Matthew, actually played against him in the World Series when he was 14 years old, the Junior League World Series. And back then they said he was a man playing with boys, and we can see why now. He dominates.
Did your brother at least beat him?
What's that?
Did your brother beat him?
Oh, no, Texas smoked Virginia. He dominated. I think he hit like a couple home runs and, he's on the mound and shut him out. So
his father was a professional baseball player, and I think Patrick was drafted into the MLB.
By the Detroit.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. So probably my I was a big Derek Jeter fan, but over the last few years, I've really started studying Kobe Bryant a lot for the way his mentality and the way he approached the game from the mental aspect, because I feel like that's what I need to work on the most now. I've got all the physical tools, and his routine was just insane. Yeah. He was special.
Yeah.
That was the thing. It was one of those things where I think our generation, I never watched basketball. I never liked basketball. I played soccer, I played lacrosse and baseball, but never really got into basketball. But it was still one of those things, like you appreciated someone like a Kobe Bryant, a Michael Jordan, like that work ethic. And I just, that was something when he, short time ago passed away, was something that like it rocked the entire country. I think that a lot of people were realizing how much that someone like that could influence your life, where, you really never think about it on a day-to-day basis, but in the grand scheme of things, he meant a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah. No, yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Just basically reiterating what Garrett said. It was same here. I didn't play sport. I mean, I played a little baseball growing up, but Kobe was he was that generational athlete that pretty much everybody, anybody that's done a shot into the trash can with a piece of paper yelled Kobe at some point in their life. So I can see where you learning his mental aspect of the game, or just as an athlete in general, can really help you in the long run.
Yeah, we in today's society, athletes are given a huge platform. But Kobe's platform was a little bit different because we watched him grow up from an 18-year-old kid in Los Angeles. Whether you like basketball or not, he was that polarizing. So watched him grow up, and even if you didn't even watch the sport, him having being the dad now and not the athlete, you didn't have to watch basketball to feel like you could connect with him, because he was so well spoken, and you could see how much he matured and turned into a man. And, I have 2 little girls, so that really hit me hard when seeing that he had his 13-year-old daughter with him, and they lost both of them at the same time. So Kobe was definitely a special individual that had a lot left to give us. That's for sure.
No doubt. One of those just gone too soon. Only the good die young. You know what I mean?
I don't think we've seen a tragedy hit the country like this probably since maybe the Prince, Michael Jackson, Elvis type things.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 32. Growing up in my life, I can't really remember anybody of that caliber passing away that had that much impact on such a wide group of people. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I agree.
It'd be like losing Kobe Bryant is like losing, as crazy as it sounds, like losing a president almost, or a president, somebody of that caliber, because they have such an impact on so many people.
I agree.
So on a lighter note, I found out about the Johnsonville brought national, what do you guys call it? This Johnsonville brought nationals, or how is that?
So each nationals have their own little name. Johnsonville is the title sponsor. You see, you got that.
Yeah. Okay.
So they are like the title sponsor for all of the nationals and the championships.
I remember sitting at a local bar watching it, and then I got hooked on it. And then next thing I know, everybody's watching it. And I was like, I can't believe they televise, it was on ESPN.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it was being televised. And then from there, I followed off and on. I started following you after I noticed Sean Latham from Barstool. Actually, at the time, he may have been even with Pat McAfee. But he said something about one of the tournaments. He was watching one of your tournaments, so that's when I clicked on it, and then just followed from there. And it's been cool to watch. I mean, you see you don't get to talk to a professional cornhole player every day. So in cornhole, is there, would there be I guess I'll call it the GOAT? Is there a greatest of all time player that you look up to, or are you that player that other guys look up to? What kind of caliber is there guys that have been doing it since it started, and those are the guys that everybody looked up to?
Yeah. So I'm going to try to dissect this a little bit. So there is, in my opinion, a GOAT, and that would be Matt Guy. He's won, like 7, 8, 9 world championships in another division, but no matter what division he's in, you can't deny the talent. The guy's unreal. So I would say right now he's got to be the GOAT. And right now, in my opinion, Jamie Graham is probably the best player in the country out of North Carolina. I've said it on a couple other shows I've been on with some guys. The way he's got all the physical tools, but what separates him is he never seems to get himself in bad situations. It's kind of like Kawhi Leonard. Like when Kawhi Leonard turns the ball over, it never affects you. Or Patrick Mahomes, when they turn the ball over, it doesn't hurt the team because it's not in critical situations. So he never puts himself in where he's got to shoot shots that are low percentage shots or gives up big frames. Now, to me personally, I do consider myself one of the best players in the country. I feel like I have the body of work now. I've got the resume. 2016, me and my partner Tyler Poitras finished 3rd in the world, and then we've made a couple ESPN appearances. We were in the Final Four last year in the championships. We actually won a national last year where we beat Matt Guy and his son, and then we beat Ryan Windsor, who's won multiple championships, and his partner to win that doubles tournament. I actually beat him that weekend in singles also. So a lot to unfold there, but long story short, Matt Guy is probably the GOAT right now. Jamie Graham, I feel like, is one of the best players in the country. And personally, I feel like I'm at least top 30. And when I can finally get the mental part and put that all together, I feel like I'm at least a top 20 player, if not higher.
That's awesome.
I like
I like the confidence.
Yeah, I do.
Fuck you. I'm good at throwing goddamn bags in the fucking hole.
Well, you got to think that, you can't, if you walk up like any other sport in baseball, if you walk up in the batter's box and the pitcher's shoving and you've already mentally in your mind, you're like, well, I have no shot because he's hitting 95, 96 on the corners, you might as well just stay in the dugout.
Yeah.
So if you feel like when he grooves one down the middle, I'm going to put it in left center field. That's the kind of mindset you got to walk up to the board with. If you walk up and you're already mentally defeated, you're just wasting your time.
Yeah.
So how do you, going to one of these tournaments, how are you preparing for it? Are you practicing? Are you able to look at film per se of your previous tournaments or matches against, and then look at opponents as well? Are you dissecting film?
Yeah, so I do a lot of all of that. We have weekly blind draws. I'm lucky, very conveniently, have 2 blind draws within walking distance of my house. So I'll walk. We have a VFW and a Moose Lodge. I'll play there twice a week. And then I'll try to practice in my downtime when, I'm not with my kids and wife, spending some time, and when I'm not out of town traveling. But so yeah, and then I pick players from time to time that I find something in their game that I feel like either I can improve on or add to my game. Excuse me. And so one of those right now is Ryan Smith. He actually did a piece with the Wall Street Journal, and he was kind of going through his weekly routine. And when you have these 3-day events where you're standing on concrete floors for 12 hours a day, that takes a toll on your body. So I've actually started to work out and eat better, because when I was in Florida the last day, I had nothing left. I had no strength left to even really move the bags up the board like I really wanted to. I made it work, but not good enough. So yeah, I'm training now. My wife's changed our diet. We're eating a lot of natural foods, salads, meats, no carbs. On the bike, trying to get on the bike every morning so that I got to lose some weight. I'm tell you, I got to lose 10 more pounds before I go to Cleveland if I want to win this thing. So yeah, I do all that. I study, I go back to old clips of myself, and, I compare them to the Jamie Graham, Frank Modlin, Brian Smith, and see what I need to improve on for that next event.
That's wild. I mean, hearing that coming from a sport that's known to me as a beer drinking sport, in the amount of preparation that goes in, it's awesome. But it's just it's crazy to think that.
I feel like it's almost every pro sport. I mean, you look at golfers now.
Yeah.
You look at like a Brooks Koepka, who is just yoked. I don't know if you follow golf, but he's huge. When you look back at like John Daly in the 90s, and it's like, okay, we're talking about 2 different games here, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. Ryan actually had in his Wall Street Journal piece, he mentioned that it's not just a game that you can go and just drink beer and have fun at anymore. There's a lot of good players that do drink beer to knock the edge off.
Yeah.
But there's so many young guys in now, and I'm telling you, man, the young guys and the old guys, they don't have nerves. They don't give a damn. They're going to shoot their shot, and it is what it is. And, these middle-aged guys that, can the adrenaline gets running, and, then you start thinking about it. Some people who have, drink a couple beers and knock the edge off and kind of take that aspect out of the game. I'm one of them.
Yeah. I was going to say, so what's the beer of choice for a weekend?
So it's typically either Bud Light, or I'll even go to Michelob Ultra, because they're like water. You can drink those things all day long.
Yep.
But the last tournament, I got a little frustrated, so I went to some Jack and Coke and some Fireball last tournament.
Yeah.
Right. So my partner's a big Fireball guy. He loves to drink some Fireball. So
yeah,
I'll take a shot or 2 with him before the tournament starts, just to kind of mellow out a little bit.
Yeah,
that makes me feel a little bit better knowing that there's still a drinking aspect to it. I don't drink anymore, but I remember. I mean, playing cornhole, I don't think there was a time, up until this past year where I played it without a beer in my hand.
Yeah.
It's kind of like.
So one of the guys on the pro circuit actually holds a beer in his left hand and places the other 3 bags on the board. So he doesn't have to. He can drink his beer in between bags.
My man,
he's really funny. There's quite a few of them that can put him down. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm sure
that's got to be a 3-day tournament of just drinking for 12 hours. It's just got to take a toll on you.
Oh yeah, I couldn't imagine. I mean,
you got to get on the Truly train.
I've tried those. They're not too bad. And people will make fun of you, guys for drinking them, but they got more alcohol in them than a Bud Light does.
Yeah. I mean, if you're on the no carbs, I mean, there's only 2 grams of carbs in each one.
That's right up my alley. I can either do that or liquor.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I tell my wife. Because my wife's on the same thing. She's like, my wife is a fitness coach. It's terrible. But I work on the road so much that I go out to eat almost every night. I mean, I just got back from 2 months in North Carolina, and
oh, wow.
I was at a Longhorn every night, having a couple Jack and Cokes or, bottle of wine and whatever I wanted to eat. And now I'm home, and she's like, all right, time to get back in gear. It's like, shit.
Salads and protein drinks.
Yeah.
That's why I don't.
I
come
literally
over
just
here
had
for
a
dinner.
steak salad for dinner.
I mean, some of the stuff she makes, I'll give her credit. It looks phenomenal, but then there's some stuff I'm like, you're putting what? You're replacing French fries with what?
Yeah. Cauliflower is the devil.
There's definitely some things that you have to kind of just put your foot down. Maybe my wife, she's really good with coming up with different types of seasonings on the chicken and broccoli and things like that. And one time she made like a zucchini pasta thing she was trying out, a zucchini pizza thing, I mean. And I tried it. I said, "You normally crush it, but this one's got to go away. We can't do this." But some of the stuff she'll just randomly put together, and I'm like, "That thing you made with the chicken the other week and this and that is so good." And she's like, "Well, I don't know what I did. I just shot from the hip." I'm like, "Okay."
My mother-in-law won a chili cook-off that way. She had no idea what she put in her chili or whatever, and next thing she knows, she's winning this chili cook-off, and people are asking her for the recipe. She's like, I was drinking margaritas while I was making it, so I don't remember shit. So I guess I kind of lost my train of thought. So what do you do for fun other than cornhole? I mean, obviously you said you got 2 little girls, so you're hanging out with the family and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I spend a lot of time with them. I'm a diehard Duke basketball fan, so I'll try to catch as many Duke basketball games as I can. I'm also a big NFL guy, so fantasy football is right up my alley. That's it, man. When between working and then playing cornhole full time, I try to soak up the rest of the time I can with my 2 little girls before they get too big.
Yeah.
Now, you what are your thoughts on the XFL?
I've watched maybe 5 minutes total of XFL football. My buddy told me he tried to claim a team, and he said it was just awful. I saw Cardell Jones, I think it was, made a couple good throws early, but I saw a lot of things where the quarterbacks have been awful.
Yeah, the quarterback.
You guys watch it?
The quarterbacks are pretty bad. I do like the changes to the kickoff. I really actually do like.
Mm-hmm.
Where they start 5 yards apart, and because it's either someone breaks through and tackles the returner immediately, or the returner's gone, and it's a one-on-one versus a punter, which is just hilarious.
That seems that I'll agree with that. I think all the way around that was good. I think it adds to the excitement a little bit, and it also adds to the safety. You don't have these gunners that can hit these guys at full speed, and these guys could potentially kill each other if they hit them the right or wrong way, however you want to look at it. So I agree, that is a cool aspect.
Yeah, when you're talking about guys, they're like, oh, their top speed on that run was 24 miles an hour. And it's like, okay, 2 guys running at 24 miles an hour hitting each other at 250 that's a big collision.
I don't want to be a part of that.
No.
I see some of these hits, and it's just like, how do they get up from that? I mean, their bodies are just so trained to deal with those impacts and
they stay in the game. It's incredible.
Yeah. I'll just have a beer over here on the side, guys. I'm done for today.
Yeah. And then you watch guys, you're watching guys like, you think football players are tough, and then you see a hockey player, shatter his jaw, and he's back out the next series.
Yeah.
And then one dude, gets his nose sliced off by a skate flying through the air, and he gets stitched up, and he's back playing. It's like, man, football players are pussies compared to these guys.
You know what? And if I was a football player, I would be quarterback, I'd do just like Peyton Manning. As soon as they got close to me, I just fall over. Plays over.
And then there's some baseball players that stub their toe on first base, and they're like, I'm out for 15 days or whatever.
Yeah. Speaking of, what do you think about all this Houston Astros?
We were just talking about it.
We talked about it earlier tonight, and I think they're just going to be a punching bag of baseballs hitting heads. I mean, it's way worse than anything that's ever been done in the league. At least with the steroids, it was like, okay, clearly Mark McGuire's juiced. Sammy Sosa's juiced.
At least that was fun to watch.
But you still had to hit a pitch. Like, if you know what's coming, I mean.
They're making those look real good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's different levels. If you're on second base and you are, you're picking up the signs because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. That's different. What they're doing is they have somebody that is completely out of the other team's control, hidden, taking those signs. That's just wrong. And I'm a little bit nervous for those guys this year when they come out, because some of these guys really don't give a damn if they play another pitch or not.
No. I think you're going to see a lot of reliever pitchers starting games and just getting thrown out after they whale someone in the face.
Yeah. I was reading earlier, we talked about it before you came on, that Barstool Sports set the over-under at like 83.5.
Holy smokes. I would take the over.
Yeah.
Hammer it.
And none of those guys got any kind of suspension.
Yeah. So they all got amnesty to open up and say what happened. And then I'm a little salty being a Boston sports fan and seeing Alex Cora get thrown under the bus. And then it comes out that it was the whole front office that developed this whole program to do it, and all the video and the Excel program to just, to decode everything.
They put some time and money into this.
This
wasn't just any little operation.
And then the Astros just in their smugness trying to hide it. And it's like, oh, well, he didn't want to take his shirt off because of tattoos. And then you see pictures on the internet, he's got no tattoos. And it's like, come the fuck on, guys.
Well, there was even pictures that have surfaced where I think it was like the bottom of the 8th and top of the 9th, or one of those where they switched over innings. Altuve had an undershirt on in that same picture you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then when he went up to bat, he didn't have it on.
Yeah.
They went to great lengths to do this. And the guys, they're just like Altuve, Bregman, they have no business being in baseball.
No.
At all.
Yeah.
And I liked Bregman a lot before all of this. I thought he was, a good guy that was really good at hitting. Obviously, he's not.
Yeah. Well, and I mean –
And for me, I liked watching that World Series with the Astros in it. I was pumped when they won it, and now I'm hearing all this. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
And it's not like some – I mean, you talk about sports cheating scandals where you look at, the one that comes to mind for me personally is, Lance Armstrong and, that whole thing. But that was everybody. Literally everyone was doing that on the tour, and that's why he ended up doing it. And, I mean, I don't know if you've ever read anything from Lance or anything, but, the Tour de France that they took from Lance Armstrong, they couldn't find anybody in the top 100 to give it to because everyone was fucking guilty. So It's like, someone like that, a cheating scandal like that where it's the whole sport, it's like, okay, it is what it is.
Why take it from him?
Yeah, exactly. And then, but, baseball where it's just this team doing all this, and it's like, you guys have really fucking gone out of your way to try and win.
And the Yankees almost beat them that year. I can imagine you guys aren't Yankees fans, but you could see the look on the face when Chapman threw that, 89 or 90-mile slider compared to his 106, and he's like, how the hell did this guy keep guessing this pitch right? And you could tell that they knew something was up. The Yankees, I honestly feel, had the better team that year based on this information now.
Yeah, based on that information now. I mean, obviously I was rooting for Houston because
I think Yankees, Altuve got did he get the MVP that year over
he
Judge?
Won the MVP over Aaron Judge, and now Aaron Judge, he congratulated him before, and now he's like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
And you look back, and I mean, it's time to reinstate Pete Rose and get rid of the Astros.
I agree 100%.
I say just let steroids play.
Haven't they basically given up on that?
I don't know. I hope so.
It seems like they're only, drug tested guys. I think they got bigger fish to fry now than drug tested people.
Yeah.
They need to worry about the opioid stuff that seems to be going around and hitting baseball pretty bad now.
Yeah, a lot of those.
What do you guys so you're Red Sox fans. I know you can't be happy about Mookie going out west.
No.
He was such a
he's a generational talent. He really was. And
he was one of those guys that you hear talked about, they're always talking about the 5-tool player. He
had it all.
He did.
Yeah.
He was just
and then to lose Brock Holt today.
Yeah.
Which to go to the Brewers, I'm kind of okay with. I love the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brew Crew it's just kind of one of those teams. It's like you don't hate them. They're just
it's hard to dislike them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
and Brock Holt was one of those players. I mean, he was such a good utility player, and he had a good attitude, and he was a good team player. So it's tough to lose a talent like that, just based on his dugout or the clubhouse aspect of it. I don't they came out the other day, or John Henry, the owner of the Red Sox, released a statement yesterday talking about them letting go of Mookie to LA, and it reminded me a lot when they got rid of Nomar, back in 2004 or whatever. But I just don't see what happened then happening with this team now.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see.
I mean,
the whole interim manager thing. I mean, in 2004, we had Terry Francona and a general manager that was, a lot better in my eyes, as far as getting young talent to be able, or just getting cheap talent to be able to win.
Yeah.
And that whole sabermetrics thing that they were doing back then, that they stole from the A's with with the Kevin Youkilis experience and all that shit. Everybody knows that now, so it's not like they have this trick up their sleeve where they can win it. So, in my eyes, I'm more worried about re-signing Tom Brady at this
point. I'm here in Oakland. Let's give him 2 years, $60 million.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that, and I mean, they got to pay their offensive line something.
I'm a huge Tom Brady fan. I wouldn't say I'm a Patriots fan, more or less, but I kind of see a lot of the same qualities and admire a lot of the things in Tom Brady that I see in Kobe Bryant. You can't be 40 plus years old and not prepare at the highest level and still produce the way he does. And my buddy is a San Francisco fan at work, and he keeps telling me he thinks Brady's done. And I said, no, he just has nobody around him. And I think that the only way he goes back to New England is if Belichick will get him another weapon and try to get somebody like Gronk to come back.
Yeah.
He needs something because Edelman can't do it by himself.
No. And I think Gronk's kind of, I don't know. I've been watching a lot of the stuff like around the Super Bowl and just around this whole thing. And Gronk has slipped up, I think, a few times, whether it was intentional or not. If he's just trying to stir the pot, he's an asshole. But I think he's going to come back. I really do. I think he said enough and led enough where he's like, I'm feeling great, not ruling football out. He said a few things about, talking with Tom and all this. And I'm like, I really want it to be like the Randy Moss, was it 07?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, when they went 16-0, and where it's literally just like sell out, sign a bunch of good players to a 1-year contract, have it be Tom Brady's swan song. I mean, it's set up right now because Breeze just said he's coming back to the Saints. So Saints, Patriots Super Bowl, let Brady win it.
They walk off into the sunset together.
Yeah.
That'd be ideal.
I tried to speaking of Gronk, I tried to call him out and get him in a game of cornhole because he mentioned something at the ESPYs a couple years ago, but he won't answer me. I don't understand what his deal is.
Yeah.
I think you should go after Pat McAfee.
Yes.
Because he is, I mean, he's done some videos of cornhole, and he's actually seems pretty good. So I think, if you have connections with Sean Latham, you should try to make that happen, and that would be electric because
I'll do that.
I think that'd be great.
I'll hit Sean up tonight on Twitter and see if I can get a connection over to Pat. That'd be dope.
And wherever that happens, we'll be I'll hold your bags for you.
Yeah, that was Pat's thing. He's like, all these, all during, because he was a punter in the NFL, and it was, what am I supposed to do during position meetings? I'm a punter. Like, I have nothing to do. So he'd throw bags in the locker room. And
I know there was two of them. Which one played for the Chiefs? Was it him or his brother?
I know his brother didn't play football.
No, his brother didn't play.
Yeah.
I thought one of them punted for the Chiefs and one punted for the Colts.
No, Cole quit. Cole quit.
Cole quit. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
McAfee was for the Colts.
Another thing you got to hit up Tom Brady on Twitter. They say he's quite the competitive cornhole player in the locker room as well.
Yeah.
I read somewhere, this is a few years ago, but they guys don't like to play cornhole with him because he is so competitive. Like he plays cornhole like he plays football. He's gritting his teeth and he's ready to go. So that'd be electric too. And like I said, I'll hold your bags for you either way.
That would be so cool if I could get some kind of cornhole game and then some kind of throwing competition with him, because I know he can't beat me in cornhole. So it's what do I have to lose?
You heard it right
Tom Brady
here.
cannot beat me in cornhole. And
Right,
I think
Corley
I have a
said
shot to beat him in a throwing competition.
We're gonna clip that. And
Yeah.
post it on
Yeah.
everything.
I know I could beat Lamar Jackson in the throwing competition.
Yeah. All right.
I know you could beat Jameis Winston too, but I mean,
Well, he
that's not
got
really a
LASIK, so
compliment.
now he might be halfway decent.
That's the best story. I got LASIK after going 30 for 30. It's like, dude, you can't let anybody find out about that.
That is really that's remarkable that you got to stay in the game and the coach didn't pull the plug on you. So you had the opportunity to throw in 30 interceptions. That's awesome.
Right.
I mean, Bruce Arians, he likes to gamble.
He's a gunslinger.
Yeah. I mean, you say Lamar Jackson, all he does is run. So I mean, could you take a hit from Lamar Jackson, because he's got a pretty mean stiff arm?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna get out of the way.
Yeah.
No, that's always. That's even if I can stay in front of him. I mean, his feet. Now he's special with the ball in his hands. He can make some throws. That the Pro Bowl thing. He looked like he never played quarterback before in that throwing competition. But man, some of those moves he puts on those world-class athletes. My feet are so heavy they wouldn't even move. He wouldn't have to put them. He just runs sideways and he's got me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't run, first of all, but I wouldn't even want to be in a car in front of him. You know what I mean? He'd just jump over it or something.
That's right.
So yeah, I think Pat McAfee, Tom Brady, you got to call those guys out, get going on something, because I got to see the GOAT in action. You know, I got to see your caliber.
See if I
play
can build a fan base from some other professional athletes.
So
Go ahead.
So now being, you're getting obviously more and more into this professional athlete. How are you growing your social media? Is it all basically just word of mouth? I mean, we're learning. We have, you have 900 something followers or 1,000. We're not even breaking 200 yet.
Yeah.
This is very low level. So what do you do in that aspect?
I try to remain as humble as possible. I try to remember where I came from. I'm no better than anybody else. Like when you guys hit me up and you thought it was a long shot that I would even talk to you guys, I showed my wife. I was like, hey, look, this is awesome. I have another podcast I get to talk on. Somebody else, sees something in me or thinks what I do is cool and wants to talk to me. So, I'm honored. I appreciate you guys having me on and the podcast I get on. I try to do my part for the people that host the podcast too. If I can get a recording of this video, of course. I have a YouTube channel now, youtube.com/Jay Corley. I'll go ahead and copy it onto my phone and then post it on my YouTube and promote it for you guys also. I have the YouTube platform. Of course, I'm on all the social media. I try to promote my pages and grow my following as much as possible. It's pretty cool. It's worked out. I've got a couple of people in Texas that reach out to me at least once a week, check in, see how I'm doing at my local events, wish me luck when I go to the big nationals. And then I actually had somebody in Utah ask me if I would send out a sign and send out a jersey to them that I no longer use. And of course, I have no problem doing that. I'm not going to use it anymore. And they said that now I'm their most favorite professional athlete across all of sports. And I was like, are you kidding me?
I got to say, you're right up there for me at this point.
Hey, I'll take it. I appreciate it. You guys, I can see from the setup, it looks like you guys got a nice little setup there. It looks like I'd fit right in.
Yeah, definitely. If you're ever in New England doing a tournament or something, we'll come see you.
Yeah.
You come see us. We'll do a live podcast, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
This is our technically third interview. 2 have been pro athletes and 1 was a sergeant, retired first sergeant in the Marines.
Yeah. We had my father-in-law on, who's in the Marine Corps, and then I actually happened to go to high school with he fights MMA and he's done Bellator and UFC. So I hit him up, which was, everybody that's been on this podcast has been super humble, and that's what I like about it. Being able to talk to just normal people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll be honest. I messaged you and Joey Chestnuts, the professional, the world's greatest eater. And you messaged me back first.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's one thing that I'm always going to try to keep with me is like I said, remember where I came from. I'm no different than you guys. I just happen to be decent at throwing bags at a platform. And so I'm appreciative of it.
That's awesome.
Now, where do you see cornhole going? Because I feel like 16 regions is big. Well, I don't know. I feel like the sport's definitely gaining traction. It's not slowing down at all. I mean, it's obviously growing for you guys. You know, is the future that you're planning to be full-time cornhole, or is it, you know, when it gets to that point, is it time to make a decision?
I would say within 5 years, my goal is to be a professional cornhole player. Now, with that said, that's not just primarily with the ACL only. I want to try to do something with kids and my YouTube channel, and I'll have to have some other types of revenue. But I think the ACL is going in the right direction. This year, the purse was $250,000 last year, which was up $100,000, I think, from last year, $150,000. So in 5 years, if we're talking $1 million purse, I would imagine that the sponsorships that are coming in for both the league and the players would be enough to allow that to happen. I'm close now for my wife to be able to stay home with my girls, which is my ultimate goal. If I can work and play cornhole and she stays home with them, because that's what her dream, then that's good. Right now, the sponsorships on a large scale aren't very big. They're, of course, I'm thankful for them. It allows me to go play at no cost to me. Shout out to All Cornhole, Dirty Bags, Jenkins Real Estate Group, and George Mason Mortgage for letting me, be able to do stuff like this. But when the Nikes and the Under Armours and Adidas's start getting involved and making bags and jerseys and stuff like that, as I think is when that it'll take that next step with bowling and those type of niche sports, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, you're even seeing darts. I see darts all over my Twitter feed, and it's like I don't
care anything.
Even axe throwing, I think, has been on ESPN. So if axe throwing can make it on ESPN, dart throwing can make it. We can carve out our role and get a little following for the players to have fans and things like that.
Do you get free Johnsonville brats?
I did get free Johnsonville brats when I did an event in Mississippi.
All right.
So Johnsonville flew me down to Memphis, Tennessee. And then I drove down because that's right on the border, and I did like a 2 or 3 day event with Johnsonville and the SEC thing, not the SEC network, but whatever the SEC game day or whatever it is that they did close to the colleges down there for the fans. And so that was a cool event. And Johnsonville, that was the ticket.
Now, what are the announcers like in cornhole? Are they low energy like golf, or are they high energy? I mean,
it's like the Ocho.
Is it like, I mean, every time I've watched
similar.
it at a bar, it's been on mute. And I've just been watching like closed captions. So it's, I really haven't enjoyed the announcers, but
I've been up at like 2 a.m. when they replay tournaments on ESPN2 and watched it. So,
the ACL provides one of the commentators. He's kind of an analysis too. Trey Ryder. He does a good job of breaking down I would say he's like the Tony Romo of cornhole. Because he almost calls every single shot exactly. He's got the mental part down. I just don't think he really wanted to invest the time to be a player. And then the ESPN will supply another commentator and then somebody that does like the interviews and things like that. So, they do a good job. The commentators actually take it serious to learn the language of cornhole, so they don't, come up there and call like a airmail a hole in one or something. You don't sound like they know what they're talking about. So kudos to ESPN for that.
No doubt. That's awesome. So there's no John Maddens of cornhole announcers, which is probably good because I couldn't imagine him.
What about a Dick Vitale? A little airmail drag, he drags 2 bags in.
That's awesome.
You just getting back to the game a little bit, do you prefer doubles or singles?
So traditionally, I mentally thought of myself as a doubles player. I guess going back to 2016 when we made that deep run in the championships, where I feel like I had probably 2 beers too many, and that kind of cost us towards the end of that one. But so now mentally, I'm trying to get myself focused on being a singles player because I know I can do it in doubles, and if I can do it in singles, that should be easier to transition back. So, yeah, I would say consider myself a doubles player, and I'm working on becoming a stronger singles player over about the last 18 months.
Yeah, because on Cornhole Addicts, they rated your airmail low.
Yeah, I think I think I created that. I need to update it because I got to update my Madden rating because my airmail is not as low as it was. I disrespected myself on that thing. I got to update my player on my Madden.
Because I was gonna say I watched one of it was like one of the last clips you posted was you took an airmail in for the win, and I was like, well, I mean, he's got it there. What the fuck else do you need?
Oh yeah, over those 2 bags. That's the one that went viral for me. That's got like 300,000 views. I was tickled to see that, man. I was like, my mindset too, real quick going through that was like, all right, you can either try to board it, just put it on the board, or push those 2 bags in, or be a badass and just go over top of them for the same amount of points and do something cool. So then I got pumped up when I hit it. Of course,
had that shot of whiskey and just said, fuck it.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's where the fireball came.
Yeah.
Yeah, let it fly.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's been so many times where I've walked away from a cornhole board pissed off because somebody did that airmail thing and just nailed it. And I was like, you know what? That's just horse shit. And I walk away. Barefoot drunk.
I was so frustrated at different points in the last national. I know a couple of times my wife was laughing when I got home because I texted her after an event or after a loss. I'm done with this. I'm done with this game. I'm just because I wasn't competing. Of course, she was like, don't worry about it. An hour, you'll throw some more bags, you'll be fine. I got home the next day. Of course, said the boards were out, and I was trying to figure out what the heck I did wrong.
If you ever want to, you should come up here for a Pats game sometime. We'll tailgate and we'll clean up. We'll start hustling.
I was going to say, do you go to tailgates down there and just hustle? Because, I mean, that's all I do.
It's
fun doing it when I go, when we go on vacation to the beach. Yeah. We'll have me and my brother will be throwing and kind of just messing around. We've had a couple times where guys came up and like, yeah, we play this all the time. We'll take y'all and we'll let them play for a little bit. And then if they start chirping, then we'll turn it on. And they're like, who are y'all? I'm like, well, we do this a lot, and we're pros. And so then they, when we have fun with it, we'll switch up the teams a little bit.
That's awesome. That's
now who's better, you or your brother?
Oh, you put me on the spot.
I saw the hesitation.
That was my first traveling partner, and when we traveled together, I'd say we were on the same level. He decided to go back to school to pursue baseball for a year, and then actually took some more time off. So I think now I've got an edge on him. I'm always going to think that anyway, just because of the competitive nature. So, but yeah, my brother's he's a good player also.
All right,
because a brother team taking the national would just be pretty awesome.
That'd be a pretty storied championship right there. That'd be
it's an interesting dynamic. And the partner I have now, Tyler, who obviously we're not brothers, but we have developed that bond because we're so close. We have a lot of the same interests, Duke basketball, fantasy football, things like that, that we can just absolutely rip each other a new one. But we have that understanding that it's not, nothing's personal, just like your brother. It's not personal. If you cuss at him or whatever it is, it's all meant to be positive, and it's just out of the passion to want to win.
Right.
So I kind of share, obviously not on the same level, but it's pretty dang gone close with Tyler that Tyler's more low key, I'll say, on that part than I am. I know a couple of times I've had to come over to him later and say, it's probably a little out of line. I laid into him, because I hold him to a standard. We've played together long enough. I've seen what he can do. And if I feel like he's getting in his own head, I'll lay into him sometimes and try to get him back on line.
You got to do that every now and then. You got to crack the whip.
Yeah.
No matter what. There's been times.
Yeah, but you know who to crack the whip on. When my wife, you don't cross that line.
Same here.
Yeah. Unless the couch is real comfy. Nah.
Yeah. No, she's I tell you what, man, she's awesome. Will let me travel and the time that I've been away, and it's easy to look and say, well, you're only gone, once a month for a couple of days, but also the weeknights, the sacrifices that I'm going to play to keep my game at a certain level. Because like I was telling you, these old young guys and the old guys that are retired and girls, either they come home and they do their homework and they play for 2 hours every day because they have no responsibilities, or they're retired so they play all day. So, I do have to make some sacrifices away, and she's just she's remarkable what she's able to do here when I'm gone to keep everything together, and the support.
No doubt,
it's special. It's special.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate as well. I mean, I travel a bunch for work. My wife does stay home, but that's a lot harder than I gave thought of it. And when I come home from, I was just gone 5 weeks, and I got home and I was like, look, I'm taking the girls. I know I want to spend time with you, but you need time alone. So I'm going to take the girls. We're going away for the day. We'll be home for dinner. Like, just do you. I'm out. Like,
yeah.
And it makes like a huge difference. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, we got back from I take duck season very seriously. So my duck hunting season, I'm gone every day. Like, if I'm home, I'm hunting. I don't really work takes a back seat. Everything takes a back seat to duck hunting season. And then at the end of it, she's like, oh, all right, I get to see you again. I'm like, yeah, sorry.
I'm your husband, Gary.
Yeah.
That's funny.
My wife's got we don't have any kids, but she's got her hands full because I'm a 32-year-old child with a lot of stuff. But they both let us do this, and, they know we're passionate about it and enjoy doing it. And so it's good to have a good woman on your side, no matter what.
I agree. I gained an appreciation for stay-at-home moms. We had our youngest one now. She's 7 months, but Virginia, I'm a state employee for Virginia, and they gave us 8 weeks of parental leave for both the mom and the dad.
No shit.
And so I was using my 8 weeks, and when I a couple of days, I was like, this is cake. This ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Like 4 days, I'm like, babe, we got to figure something out.
Yeah.
This is hard, So
how can I make enough money for a nanny?
Yeah. I'm going to go back to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, working is way easier than this wide open 3-year-old we got.
Yep.
Yeah, mine are 5 and 3, and it's
that's awesome.
Nobody warns you about the jump from 1 to 2.
No.
It's insane. It's a completely different world, and I mean, you're on the crest of getting to mobile child, and just good luck. I just wish you all the luck in the world, because it's chaos.
My 3-year-old, she's wide open, man. And I feel like she's bonded a little bit better with mom, but the 7-month-old, if I'm in the room, nobody else, she doesn't want anybody else holding her. So they're so much fun. I wouldn't trade them for the world.
No.
I show up to Garrett's house every week when we record this, and it typically starts with his youngest daughter, and she'll walk me in the living room and then jump off a piece of furniture. And I'm like grabbing my chest, ready for, but she bounces back up and then runs and is running across the brick floor on her hands.
Yeah.
She's showing you her newest WWE move.
Exactly. Like tonight before we came out to record, she's like, watch this. And she jumps up on the arm of the chair. I'm like, you're not going to jump, and jumps off of it.
Yeah.
Like 3 feet. I'm just like, I can't watch this. I got to go away.
Yeah. You get nervous with watching.
If you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough. That's my mindset with her. If she wants to do it, whatever. You'll learn.
You'll learn what hurts.
That's funny. My mom, when I pick up my daughter, she'll say, they were playing outside, and Harper fell and bumped her knee. And I'm like, she's a kid. She's not, if it's a bump coming up or something that's good is coming to the surface, she'll be all right. She'll figure it out.
Yeah. Rub dirt in it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
Do it again. Well, man, I think that's all I got for questions. Yeah. Garrett, you got anything you want to close out on?
I appreciate the time, and I mean, I wish you the best of luck this year, and who knows, in my travels, I might have to swing into a couple events, and if you make it to the Northeast, definitely hit us up. We'll come down wherever.
And,
I definitely will. If y'all are ever in the area, hit me up. We'll find a blind draw, or maybe just go to the bar and drink a beer or something.
Definitely.
That works.
Yeah, I'm always down for.
Yeah. Either.
The VFW's got $4 large pitchers, so you can't go wrong.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's the way the VFW's got to be raking in some money for you guys down there. I mean, I've only gone to VFWs ever. My last job, I was in a union, and our union meetings were at the VFW. So we went there and we crushed as many beers as we could for like $1.50. It's like,
Yeah.
that was the only reason to go to the meeting.
You could. It's
Cheap
the only
beer.
place you could show up at a bar with $1 and leave with money.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got slot machines too. So yeah,
Yeah, you can do anything, and it's Las Vegas.
that's right.
Well, man, I appreciate it, and we'll make sure to tag you on all our socials on this when it gets out.
Yeah.
And
Follow you along at Jay Corley on everything.
Facebook is at J Corley Cornhole Pro. IG, Twitter, and YouTube are all Jay Corley.
All right.
Awesome.
Perfect.
So yeah, thanks again one more time for having me on. I really appreciate it, guys, and I'd love to get back on with you. Maybe after the next national or anytime you guys want to get me on. Let me know.
For sure. And anytime you want to get to Maine, bring the family up. We got a beach right here. It's beautiful. So
Sweet. I'm gonna hold y'all to that.
yeah.
Football season. Remember, we'll go make some money at some tailgates.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Good talking.
All right, y'all take care.
All right.
You too. Bye.